okay, I'll be the first one to say I'm not a big fan of The View. Now, admittedly, growing up, I watched it on my days off school because it was on. And let's face it, in the middle of the day, not a whole lot's on besides game shows and soap operas, at least back then. Well, this, in a way, I can understand where Joy Behar is coming from in both her offensive statement and the apology. Let's just read on. Joy Behar apologizes to Christians for mental health joke about Vice President Mike Pence. I read the headline, was a little confused, so I figured I'd, bring it up. So, The View panelist Joy Behar has apologized not only to Vice President Mike Pence, but also to tens of millions of Americans who might have been offended last month when she likened Christianity to mental illness. Well, as someone who was raised Baptist, I could kind of see where she's coming from. Pence, whom Behar had previously apologized to personally over the phone, told Sean Hannity on Monday that he thought Behar still owed an I'm sorry to his fellow Christians. As a public figure, he said criticism was part of the deal, but for others, such slander shouldn't be. He specifically called out ABC, which broadcasts The View. Really? So, his homophobic stances on the gay community, which is mostly private citizens, that slander isn't part of the deal for them. So, he should be forced to apologize for all that. But let me guess, he won't.
Because reasons!
I think Vice President Pence is right, Behar said Tuesday morning. Uttering words few people ever expected to hear from her. Yeah. I don't think anybody expects to hear that from anybody. I was raised to respect everyone's religious faith, and I fell short of that. I sincerely apologize for what I said. Yeah, I understand being raised to respect people's religious faith and all that. But I refuse to show respect to someone when they outright disrespect an entire community of people because of their sexual orientation. And it's, because of your religion.
No. Fuck you.
You don't deserve respect from me. You won't get respect from me. It's that simple. If you want me to respect you, you have to be respectful of other people as well. And you clearly can't be, so there you go. A Christian herself, she added later that no, she doesn't believe Christians are mentally ill. I don't mean to offend people, but apparently I keep doing it, Behar added. It was a joke. Comedians are in danger these days. Which is true. When I was growing up,
Back in my day,
comedians could joke about anything. Sure, some people would be offended, but they'd get over it. Nowadays, oh my God, you say one wrong word and people try to end your career. Something that I think is really funny. Conservatives, right-wingers, Republicans, whatever, they talk about the liberal snowflakes. But then they're also the ones getting offended by jokes like this. So, the way I see it, they're also snowflakes. Co-host Meghan McCain, a Republican, also apologized to the Pence family on behalf of the show, prompting Behar to mention, "We've also got the First Amendment going on in this country." Which is true. She's allowed to say whatever she wants. Now, ABC could reprimand her or punish her, fire her, whatever, for that, if they so chose. But if the government couldn't do diddly dick about it. Pence told Hannity on Monday night, a show and a television host that are worth absolutely fuck all. "I said to Joy, of course I forgive you. That's part of my faith experience. But I did encourage her, and I'm still encouraging her to use the forum of that program or some other public forum to apologize to tens of millions of Americans who were equally offended." Well, like I said, if I were her, I would have apologized to those that show respect to others. But people like Mike Pence and homophobes, no. Fuck you. You don't get respect because you don't deserve it. Treat others as you wish to be treated yourself. Or something else that Christians like to say, judge not lest ye be judged. But they are some of the most judgmental hypocrites you'll ever meet. Especially when it comes to gay people. They judge and judge and judge. It's ridiculous. Behar had compared Christianity to mental illness in a February 13th segment about former Trump White House staffer Omarosa that tore into Pence from more than one direction. It's one thing to talk to Jesus, Behar said, riffing on fellow View panelist Sonny Hostein's comments about how Pence was a hated figure in Indiana. It's another thing when Jesus talks back to you. That's called mental illness, if I'm not correct. Hearing voices. Which she's right, it is one thing to talk to God, but it's a different thing to hear him talk back. Because last time I checked, hearing voices, not a good thing. I mean, let's be honest. People who hear voices usually are mentally ill. Or are on the wrong medication. She spun her finger near the side of her head for added effect. Which, I mean, of course, when you talk about mental illness, you always gotta add the cuckoo finger. I'd like to laugh about it, but I really can't, Pence said shortly afterward. We've all different types of faith in this country, and I have to tell you, to have ABC maintain a broadcast forum that compare Christianity to mental illness, it's just wrong. Really? This coming from a guy whose political party and pretty much his president has said all Muslims are terrorists or terrorist enablers and all this and that, to make such broad generalizations? It's a little hypocritical if you ask me. A little self-righteous. But I don't see that ringing any bells with him. So like I said, I can understand where she's coming from in the offensive statement, but I can also understand why she would apologize. But hey, either way, I think it's funny. Because last time I checked, hearing voices was a sign of mental illness.